Good morning, children. Today we will start with the biology class. So already we are studying about the lesson health and diseases. Okay, human health and the diseases. So we will continue with that chapter. Okay. So you have your test, first periodic assessment test will be from 22nd to 27th. You will be having the exam 26th. I hope so. You will be having the examination. And see to that you are preparing for the examination. Chemistry already I told you the portions, and similarly in biology you have to study from human health and diseases about all the diseases. What are all the diseases? About the bacterial disease you have to study, viral disease. Under bacterial disease you have two diseases. Then under the viral diseases again you have two diseases. Then you have to study about the fungal infection. The ringworm fungal disease, then protozoal infection, that is malaria, and elephantiasis you have to study, helminthus worm. Protozoal you have to study about Entomophoba histolytica and about malaria. Helminthus you have to study about elephantiasis or filariasis, then ascariasis. Isn't it? In the viral disease, you have to study about common cold and HIV. Then finally, about the cancer. This is about the diseases. Isn't it? So you have to study about. So everything in detail I taught you. I have given the notes and see to that you are completing your classes also. So you have to study about the bacteria, about the bacterial disease. Then you have to study about the viral disease, fungal disease, Trichophyton, Epidendophyton, isn't it? Then the ringworm, then protozoa, Entomophoba histolytica, Babesiosis, then malaria, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium bovium, then helminthus, ascariasis. Ascariasis is caused by Ascaris virus. Elephantiasis is caused by Clostridium bancrofti or Clostridium malloyi. Causes is elephantiasis. Then cancer, about the cancer, in detail I taught you. About HIV also I have given you maximum notes which will be utilized, which you can utilize for both for the NEET examination as well as for the board examination. Such a way I have given you the notes. About these diseases you have to study. Next to that topic, what we have dealt is about the immune system. About the immune system, isn't it? About the immune system. So, what is meant by immunity? We studied about immunity and types of immunity. Under the types of immunity we studied about innate immunity, then acquired immunity, isn't it? Then under innate immunity we studied about physical barrier, physiological barrier, cellular barrier, then cytokinin barrier, isn't it? Then acquired immunity we have active immunity and passive immunity. Types of immunity we study. Next to that we study about what is immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin is nothing but it is an antibody, it is a protein. Serum protein, gamma globulin I told you, isn't it? So globulin, immunoglobulin, which is nothing but antibody. But antibody or a structure also we study. Antibody, how the antibody is getting produced. Antibodies are getting produced by the B cells. So how these B cells are getting produced? By the T helper cells. This T helper cells produces the B cells, stimulates the B cells to produce the antibodies. So antibodies are getting originated from the B cells, isn't it? The B cells are present in the bone marrow. Now we will be studying about that. T helper cells which is present in the thymus. So immunoglobulin about the structure is Y shape, isn't it? The immunoglobulin is what? Y shape. So Y shape we have studied. So in the immunoglobulin, what we will be studying? The immunoglobulin will be having the long chain and the short chain. So Y shape. Constant region and variable region. Then the end region is the carboxyl group. Carbon, carboxylic acid, carboxylic acid chain. Variable region anterior part amino group. Then antigen binding site will be present in the variable region. Next to the variable region, we will be having the constant region. So variable region, constant region. Sulfur bridges, disulfide bridges or sulfur bridges will be present in between the chains. Then immunoglobulin what we have studied. Different types of immunoglobulin is there. IgG, which is most common, 80%. It is a gamma globulin. It will be comprising of number of gamma chains. So total immunoglobulin, 80% of the antibody immunoglobulin are concentrated in the concentrated by IgG. So we have IgA, IgG, IgE, IgI. So various immunoglobulins are present. Next to the immunoglobulin, we study about vaccination and immunization. So vaccination is and the vaccination very important is memory. So immunoglobulin characteristic features are given: specificity, diversity, specificity diversity then recognition between self and non-self, self and non-self. Last one is memory. Memory or graph I have explained it. Memory it can give primary response and the secondary response. Primary response takes much time. For the secondary response, immediately it recognizes. So attenuated or killed virus, from that extract is being obtained, which we are calling it as vaccine, isn't it? So the vaccination and the vaccination types also we have studied. First generation, second generation, and third generation vaccines. We classify the vaccines. So different types of vaccines. So classification of vaccines we study. Vaccination or immunization. Next stage what we have studied is allergy. Exaggerated response, abnormal response to pollen grains, dust, smoke, animal danger. Animal skin flakes, pets rear pets skin, hair follicles, whatsoever it is, they are called as animal danger. And similarly to the medicine, anaphylaxis they are called, isn't it? Allergic manifestation to specific type of drugs. So we studied allergy. The topics and you have to be examination. Apart from that, the left out portions which we yet to study is two parts. One is autoimmunity or autoimmune disease. This is also very easy. Autoimmune disease. The other one is called as lymphoid organs. I will tell you. So what is this autoimmune disease? So now the autoimmune disease, I told you what is the immunity. Actually in our body there are number of immune cells are present. These immune cells are called as lymphocytes. Isn't it? So I told you T cells, B cells, dendrites, natural killer cells, macrophages, eosinophils, basophils, then polymorphonuclear lymphocytes, that is called as what? Neutrophils. So there are n number of antigen specific antibodies secreting lymphocytic cells are being present in the body. Number of lymphocytic cells are present. If in the lymphocytes trapping or killing the antigen. What is this antigen? The antigen is a toxin. And antigen is a toxin. The antigen is being secreted by the metabolic activities of the disease-causing pathogenic microorganism. Say for example, if you take any one infection you take, say for example, Entamoeba histolytica, Salmonella typhi causing typhoid. When the Salmonella typhi bacteria enters into the body, then the Salmonella typhi goes and invades into the visceral region of the body, particularly the gut region or the basically stomach region. So when it invades the stomach region, the lumen part of the stomach, then automatically it will start to derive the nourishment from the body. So when it takes the nourishment, automatically it starts to grow. When it starts to grow and develop, it undergoes proliferation. That means it undergoes repeated division, undergoing metabolic activities, and as a result it starts to secrete the exudate. That exudate will be the form of a toxin. That toxin is responsible for causing the infection. That is called as an antigen. It is sometimes it may be in the form of a protein, or otherwise it may be in the form of a body saccharide molecule. Okay. So now this antigen is a foreign molecule, isn't it? I am calling it as a foreign molecule. Why it is called as foreign molecule? Because it is not native to our body. It is being obtained by the disease-causing pathogen when it enters into the body. So it is a foreign molecule. When this foreign molecule enters, when the foreign molecule is there inside the body, then automatically the lymphocytes. These lymphocytes originally it is from leukocytic cells, that is WBC cells. It's a mother cell. From that the various lymphocytic cells are getting produced. Now lymphocytes, that is WBC cells and so on. So now these foreign molecules are there invaded inside the body, and immediately this lymphocytes will start to secrete the antibody, which is Ig. Okay? Antigen specific antibodies that we will see later. Now the immunoantibodies will be getting secreted. If the antibodies secrete other T cells information, T helper cells are there, it goes to the B cells, and B cells will start to secrete the antibodies. Now what this antibody will do? The antibody will go and trap this antigen. After trapping, what it does? It kills by the process called as phagocytosis. By the process called as what? Phagocytosis. Or otherwise we can call it as cell engulfation. By agglutination, making the antigen rendering inactive, which will not able to cause furthermore infections. So rendering the antigen inactive, which we are calling as agglutination, clotting, rendering inactive, or otherwise we can call it as phagocytosis. So immunoglobulin, which is called as an antibody. This antibody brings about the phagocytosis effect on the antigen, and it kills the antigen by trapping or by cell engulfation, engulfing the antigen molecules by phagocytosis process. This is the overall in a gist I told you. This is the immune response, immunity and your body. Now you take this autoimmune disorder. So autoimmune disorder. Now in this process, I told you this immunoglobulin Ig, which is an antibody. Ig is an antibody. This antibody should recognize the antigen, because antigen is a foreign molecule, foreign body. This is causing toxin, isn't it? This is causing polysaccharide. This is causing protein. Immunoglobulin is a complete serum protein we are calling gamma globulin. It belongs to the class called as gamma globulin, which is present inside the blood cells or otherwise on the surface of the plasma things of immunoglobulin, and this is called as an antigen. So this immunoglobulin recognizes antigen. The immunoglobulin characteristic features I told you specificity. What is specificity? Immunoglobulin characteristic features. Antibody characteristic features is what? Specificity. It specifically attacks. It identifies. It identifies what? It identifies the antigens. It identifies the antigen. So immunoglobulin identifies the antigen. Natural phenomenon. Natural phenomenon. In case of autoimmune disorder, this immunoglobulin fails to recognize the self and non-self cells. What's happening in autoimmune disorder? The immunoglobulin fails, or it loses the ability to recognize which is our own cell, which is the foreign cell. Self and non-self. I told you one more point. Specificity, diversity, the recognition between the self and the non-self cells. So this also characteristic features of antibody, isn't it? So other characteristic features immunoglobulin will lose sometimes. That may be because of genetic factor. The research is going on. What are the other factors responsible for the antibody to lose the recognizing the cells and the non-self cells in their life? Cell reasons suppressor cells the T helper cells number increase ஆகுறதுனால reduction in the suppressor cells, natural killer cells குறையிறதுனால interferons number increase ஆகுறதுனால நிறைய reasons they are telling. But what is this autoimmune disorder? The immunoglobulin has to recognize the foreign molecule antigen and it has to make the antigen inactive. That is the immune system. Immunity. Autoimmunity means the immunoglobulin fails to recognize the self and the non-self cells. It fails to recognize what? Self and non-self cells. So therefore, what's happening? The immunoglobulin goes and kills its own cells. Kills its self cells, or own cells, self cells. Self cells. Kills the self cells or its own cells. This results in autoimmune disorder. Can you understand the various reasons? One, the genetic factor. Second one, reduction in the suppressor cells. Reduction in suppressor cells. Third one, increased production of T helper cells. The reasons immunoglobulin fail to recognize the cells and non-self cells. Okay, so this autoimmune disorders, a few examples are there. Various examples are there. The examples are type 1 diabetes. The type 1 diabetes. What is the type 1 diabetes? Addison's disease. Addison's disease. What is this Addison's disease? It is nothing but juvenile diabetes. Nothing but what? Juvenile diabetes. It is nothing but juvenile diabetes. Why this type 1 diabetes, juvenile diabetes occurs? Due to the degradation of adrenal gland. Example, they ask you adrenal gland. Okay, this is one best example. So, the immunoglobulin affects the adrenal gland, fails to recognize. And it own cell. New antibodies நம்மளுடைய செல்லுல அந்த antibody or immunoglobulin fails to recognize. So automatically what happens? It affects the adrenal gland and the results in type 1 diabetes. One. Second one is rheumatic arthritis or rheumatic disorder. Rheumatitis. Third one, very famous disorder. Third one is a very famous disorder. That is third one I'm writing. hyperthyroidism. It is called as hyperthyroidism. Excess secretion of thyroxine. So hyperthyroidism, Hashimoto's disorder or Hashimoto's disease. Disorder we can say, no? Hashimoto's disorder. Hashimoto's disorder. So this is the relation. Okay, now shall we revise? What is this autoimmune disorder? Autoimmune disorder. See, naturally the immunoglobulin will be present inside the body, which is being secreted by the T helper cells. These immunoglobulin are present inside the blood cells or otherwise on the surface of the plasma. What is the role of this immunoglobulin? This immunoglobulin has to recognize the foreign molecule and it has to trap and kill the antigen. The foreign molecule is nothing but is an antigen. That is the role of the antibody or otherwise immunoglobulin we are telling. Isn't it? Now what happens in case of this autoimmune disorder? This immunoglobulin will lose its characteristic features of recognizing the self and the non-self cells. So when it fails to recognize the self cells and the non-self cells, then what will happen? This immunoglobulin goes and kills the old self cells instead of the antigen, which results in number of autoimmune disorders. That autoimmune disorders has been known, that is type 1 diabetes, which is a juvenile diabetes we are telling. That is due to the depletion or degradation or exploitation of the adrenal gland. Now, which therefore it is Addison's disease. And rheumatoid arthritis is the very best example for the unable to recognizing the self and the non-self cells by the immunoglobulin, which is the autoimmune disorder. Third one is Hashimoto's disease, which is due to the hyperthyroidism, excess secretion of the thyroxine hormone. Can you understand? This is about the autoimmune disorder. Hope so you can understand. Now, the next topic, the last topic is lymphoid organs. The last topic what we have is the lymphoidal organs. Now, let's start with the lymphoid organs. What is this lymphoid organs? The main function of the lymphoid organs is the secretion, maturation, and proliferation lymphocytes. So secretion, that means we can call it as production. Secretion we can call it as what? We can call it as production. So secretion, maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes, lymphocytic cells. These are the lymphoid organs today mainly. There are two main lymphoid organs. We call it as primary lymphoid organ, secondary primary lymphoid organ, secondary lymphoid organ. Under the primary lymphoid organ, we have bone marrow. Then we have glands. Okay. So under the secondary lymphoid organs, we have spleen. Then we have lymph nodes. Then mark, mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Okay. So we have bone marrow, thymus. This is called as what? Thymus. Then secondary lymphoid organ is spleen, lymph nodes, and gall, everything. Gut region and the ball, bronchial region and the sour skin associated lymphoid organs அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். இது மாதிரி ஐஸ்ல இருந்தா conjunctiva இல்லையா called CALT actually. So that is conjunctiva associated lymphoid tissue அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். We'll see one time. First one is primary lymphoid organ. See, you have to keep it in mind. Fetal stage in say, adult stage in say. Fetal stage in say, after the fetus comes out of the mother's womb, ஒரு முக்கியமான process takes place. That is called as hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is one process நடந்துட்டே இருக்கு. I think it is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis only. Hematopoiesis அப்படின்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய the process occurs. What is this hematopoiesis is the production of the blood cells. The production of the blood cells. So hematopoiesis occurs. So hematopoiesis, what is this hematopoiesis? This hematopoiesis occurs. Okay. So the production of the blood cells. And the blood cells we are calling it as lymphocytes. We are calling it as lymphocytes. Usually this hematopoiesis occurs in the bone marrow. Hematopoiesis occurs in the bone marrow. Now see, I will be writing step by step so that you can better understand. So what is this actually? Hematopoiesis. This hematopoiesis occurs in the blood cells. The hematopoiesis, what is this? Hematopoiesis, formation of blood cells. Isn't it? Another particularly instead of blood cells, we can write it as what? Lymphocytes. We can call it as what? Lymphocytes. So formation of lymphocytes. Okay. So it hematopoiesis occurs in the not in blood cells, sorry, in the bone marrow. So formation of lymphocytes. What type of lymphocytes it produces in the bone marrow? That is progenitor B cells. Progenitor B cells. This progenitor B cells will attain maturity. Will attain what? Maturity. And as a result it forms B lymphocytes. These B lymphocytes, this matured B lymphocytes will become immunocompetent. What is this immunocompetent? Immunocompetent means which has an ability of trapping and killing the antigens. Can you understand? Can you understand what I'm telling? Bone marrow factors. So what is this bone marrow actually? Actually, when you take this bone marrow, when you take out this bone marrow, it has this bone marrow has it is a flexible tissue. It is a flexible tissue which is present interior of the bone. Interior of the long bone. It is a flexible tissue which is present interior of the long bone, which is present interior of the long bone. Here actually the B cell formation maturation. Okay, of long bones. Now see, upper B cells wounds. Now what happens? Sometimes this progenitor B cells migrate towards thymus, towards the thymus. Then this progenitor B cells, after entering into the thymus, it attains maturation and forms T cells, which also immunocompetent in nature. This is also tends to be immunocompetent. This is also tends to be immunocompetent. Now, what is happening in the primary lymphoid organ? Formation, that is secretion and maturation. Secretion and maturation occurs in the primary lymphoid organ. See, upper secretion and maturation occurs in the primary lymphoidal. Primary lymphoidal organ. Isn't it both there? What is this thymus? See, when you take this thymus will be present. It is, when you take this thymus, it is at the shape of fist, then it is a bilobed structure. It's a bilobed structure. So thymus, atrophy organ. It is a kind of atrophy organ. It is present above the heart and the size is varies. And it is present above the heart, there top of the heart, and posterior to the bilobed structure, which is present at the top of heart, posterior to sternum. Heart, chest bones, sternum, and the respiration mechanism ribs. Sternum protection bones sternum back vertebral column protection back side vertebral column front sternum and front and vertebral column at the back. Ribs encircling the chest lungs prevent the ribs. So posterior to the sternum and top of the heart, the bilobed structure called as thymus is present. And what is the unique feature of this thymus is, when to the fetus or infant it is, the size will be maximum. Adult stage the size will be reduced or condensed because it undergoes atrophy. Atrophy. Now what's happening now? So T cells are getting produced and T cells is also getting produced in the primary lymphoidal organ. Is not clear what I told you in the primary lymphoidal organ. Upper T cells and B cells form at maturation. Now coming to the secondary lymphoidal organs. This is about what? Primary lymphoidal organ. Now coming to the secondary lymphoidal organs. In case of the secondary lymphoidal organ, it is a site for the T cells and B cells. It is a region or site for T cells and B cells to undergo proliferation. After proliferation, the number of lymphocytes are getting produced. Number of lymphocytes are produced. Number of lymphocytes are produced. and these number of lymphocytes will become antigenic specific since it is antigenic specific. It traps and kills. It traps and kills the antigen. Traps and kills the antigen. So this is the secondary lymphoidal organ. What is the secondary lymphoidal organ? It is the site for T cells and T cells to be formed. So where the proliferation takes place, the number of lymphocytes are getting produced. It is an antigenic specific in which traps and kills the antigens. There are, so after here what's happening? It is a region of for the proliferation. Region of proliferation. Secondary lymphoidal organ is a region of proliferation. Is the region of proliferation. Understood? So primary lymphoidal organ and secondary lymphoidal organ. Now coming to this spleen. What is this spleen? Spleen will have the fist size and it will be present at the extreme left hand side of the abdominal region or towards the stomach region. Then lymph nodes will be present throughout the body. It spreads throughout the body, the lymph nodes. And mucosa associated lymphoidal tissue is another important. The mucosa associated lymphoidal tissue mutate this is present actually in the respiratory region, respiratory tract, digestive tract, urinogenital tract. Why it should be present? The mucus layer is present in respiratory, digestive and urinogenital tract. Once they asked in the examination, why it should be present because these are the regions where the maximum exposure to the pathogenic organism, entry of the pathogenic organisms takes place. Yeah, through the digestive tract, along with the food, it enters the pathogenic microorganism. Along with the gas, oxygen, when we are inhaling, the pathogenic microorganisms can enter, and similarly through the urinogenital tract also the pathogenic infectious disease causing microorganisms can enter. So that is why the urinogenital tract, gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract are lined with that of the mucosa associated lymphoidal tissue. That is mucus secretions will be there, mucus lining will be there. There are various types of mold. Suppose we have bulb. What is this bulb? Bronchial region, bronchial, respiratory tract and bronchial. So bronchial associated lymphoidal tissue. Again, what is this B? B indicates bronchial. We know no? So trachea, larynx, trachea bifurcates into bronchial. And this bronchial will enter into each bronchus. So the bronchial will be entering into that of the lungs. And the bronchial will get branches into the bronchioles. The bronchioles will be having alveoli or otherwise air sac where the gaseous exchange takes place. Upper the bronchial region, bronchus, bronchial region, the mucus secretion will be there. Gut, that is gall. The gall will come, we call it as Peyer's patch. Peyer's patch. Peyer's patch which is present in the intestinal region. It is present in the intestinal region and it gives the immunocompetent T cells and the T cells are put there. So any pathogenic organisms enters into the antigens enters into the gastrointestinal tract will be entering inactive by means of this Peyer's patch. This is gall, gut associated lymphoidal tissue, gut region, digestive tract, gastrointestinal tract, gall. Next to that, what we have is the colic. What is this called? Called this conjunctiva associated lymphoidal tissue, eyes. Through the eyes also, the infection may, the disease causing organisms may enter, that can be prevented by means of what? By means of the colic. Okay, so these things you have to keep it in mind. This is about the lymphoidal organs. I hope you can understand the lymphoidal organs. So, lymphoidal organs have three main functions in it. One another. The first one is secretion, second one is maturation, third it all clear what I told you about the lymphatic organ? So about the immune system is over. I hope so you can understand and you have to study. Next what we have is about the alkaloids we have to study. Next to the alkaloids we have to study about the alcohol addiction and the rehabilitation. What are the rehabilitation and the rehabilitations we have to study. Now in the let me start and leave. And till this you will be having for the exam as a questions. Okay. Now you see various drugs. Next topic is about the drugs. Plant drugs, which is an alkaloid, which becomes sedative, which can be an analgesic, which can be a tranquilizer, which we study in chemistry in everyday life. அதெல்லாம் இங்க அப்ளை பண்ணுவோம். என்னென்ன ட்ரக்ஸ் பத்தி நம்ம படிக்க போறோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா the first one about opioids. The alkaloid, the drug is called as what? Opioids. Second drug is second drug is cannabinoids. Second drug what is cannabinoids? Cannabinoids. So what is the first drug? First drug is opioids. Second drug is cannabinoids. Next one, third one is cocaine. This cocaine. So about each drugs we have to study. This opioids obtained from the plant, the foreign plant, uses for the base, papaver, somniferum, papaver, somniferum. Cannabinoids is obtained from cannabis sativus. Okay, so it is obtained from the plant that is called as water cannabis sativus, or otherwise we can call it as sativa. Cannabis, cannabis. Okay, so cannabinoids. Okay, erythroxylum. Erythroxylum hookah. So we have to underline since it's the binomial name, isn't it? Cannabis sativa, papaver, somniferum. These are the opioids, cannabinoids, cocaine. So these are the various types of alkaloids which are obtained from these plants. About each drugs we have to study in detail. What are its hazards, how it is being taken, by snoring, by injection, by orally, by snorting. So everything we have to study in detail in the class. Okay. So maximum parts from health and diseases, human health and diseases, there the maximum around 90% of the topics has been over. The rest of this only this about this alkaloids in one class I will finish, and then next one is about the drugs. I mean the alcohols addiction, and the government today what are all the rehabilitation care, rehabilitation centers about that study. Understand? So ensure that you are studying for preparing well, and whatever I have written on the board, see to that you have taken down in your classroom notebook, which is very important. So thank you.